Alaya Brooks moved like a shadow across the airbase, steady, silent, efficient. For 8 years, she worked as a maintenance technician, crawling under fighter jets, running diagnostics, fixing hydraulic leaks, inspecting wings before takeoff. She was sharp, meticulous, and respected by everyone on the ground crew. Her commanding officers praised her reliability. Her co-workers admired her skill. But no one really knew her. She kept to herself, didn't talk much during lunch breaks, skipped base parties. When new hires asked why she never pursued officer training, she'd just smile and say, "This is where I'm needed." That was the story they accepted. What they didn't know was that Alaya had once ruled the skies. At 23, she graduated top of her class in one of the most difficult aviation programs in the military. She had flown stealth combat missions in war zones so secret they didn't officially exist. Her call sign, Phoenix, was known in certain classified circles as legend until it all disappeared. During a high-stakes mission, her commanding officer made a decision that risked hundreds of innocent lives. Alaya filed an internal report, truthful, detailed, and damning. She expected accountability. Instead, she was quietly removed from the flight roster. Her wings were never officially revoked, but she was grounded, transferred to maintenance. Her career stalled, her name erased. It was retaliation dressed up as reassignment. And just like that, one of the Air Force's brightest was buried under bolts and paperwork. She never fought it, at least not openly. Every day she worked like she had something to prove, even though no one knew what she'd already done. Then came the day everything changed. It started with the blare of a siren, a high, shrill alarm that echoed across the hangars. Technicians paused, radios buzzed. In the control tower, voices overlapped in confusion and urgency. "Emergency! F-22 malfunction. Pilot unresponsive. Jet is descending fast." Alaya dropped her wrench and bolted to the comm station where a cluster of officers were frantically reviewing radar data. One jet, a NATO training craft, was spiraling down, the trainee pilot panicking, altitude dropping fast. "Get someone up there now," yelled the commander. "Who do we have on standby?" A lieutenant replied, "No one, sir. All certified pilots are grounded or off base. We're looking at a minimum 30-minute delay." The commander swore, "The jet'll be on the ground, or in pieces by then." Everyone was frozen. No one knew what to do. No one except Alaya. She stepped forward, calm, certain. "I can fly it." The entire room turned to her, confused. One of the officers frowned. "You're a mechanic." Alaya didn't answer. She walked briskly to her locker, opened a hidden compartment, and pulled out a sealed envelope. Inside, a worn flight badge, a pair of pilot gloves, and an old embroidered patch that read Phoenix. She held them out. "I've flown this jet in combat, logged over 700 hours. I know its systems better than anyone in this room. Let me bring him home." The commander stared at her. A long pause stretched through the room. Then he gave a single nod. "Suit up." The flight suit hugged her like it never left. As Alaya zipped it up and pulled on her gloves, silence fell over the locker room. A few younger mechanics stood frozen, watching her like they were seeing her for the first time. She gave them a brief nod, then strode out into the blazing Nevada sun, helmet under one arm, heart pounding but mind clear. The runway shimmered with heat. The jet, the F-22 Raptor, waited. At the far end, its twin engines already humming, ready to fly. A technician approached her hesitantly with a checklist, but Alaya took it from his hand mid-sentence, ticking through items in rapid-fire order. She didn't need help. She'd lived in this cockpit longer than some had been in the service. She climbed the ladder, lowered herself into the seat, and powered the jet up like it was second nature. Because it was. "Control, this is Phoenix. Systems green, requesting clearance." The silence on the other end of the radio lasted just long enough for her to wonder if they'd really allow it. Then came Ramirez's voice, tense but steady. "Phoenix, you are cleared for takeoff. Coordinates locked. Jet Bravo 7 is 62 miles north, 12,000 feet and dropping." She took a breath. "Roger that. I'm on him." The jet roared to life and launched off the runway like a bullet. Alaya pressed into her seat, eyes locked on the HUD. She climbed fast, cut through the clouds, and scanned the horizon. Within minutes, she spotted the falling aircraft, barely stable, nose tilting downward, vapor trails cutting uneven lines behind it. The backup pilot, a new recruit, was trying desperately to stabilize the aircraft, but he was losing the battle. "This is Phoenix," she said into the comms. "I'm coming in on your right. Maintain your trajectory and do not make any sudden maneuvers." The rookie's voice crackled through the static. I don't know what to do. He passed out. I'm losing it. I can't." "You're not losing anything," she replied firmly. "You're going to breathe. Right now. In through your nose, out through your mouth. You're not alone. Just follow my lead." She maneuvered the F-22 into a tight formation, flying wingtip to wingtip beside him, close enough to see the panic on his face through the canopy. She began calling out instructions, one by one, calmly and clearly, walking him through stabilizing throttle, wing trim, and landing gear adjustments. "Good. That's it. Stay with me." The two jets descended together, slicing through the air in perfect sync. On the ground, the entire base had gathered near the runway. Officers, cadets, janitors, even kitchen staff. Everyone watched the sky. Then, out of the blue haze, two aircraft appeared, one struggling, one guiding, like a shepherd pulling a lamb out of fire. Slowly, steadily, the altitude dropped. "Lower your flaps. Reduce throttle 15%. Lock your gear," she said. The rookie obeyed every word. Both jets touched down seconds apart. First the struggling one, landing hard but safe, then hers, graceful and precise. When she climbed down from the cockpit, the airfield erupted in stunned applause. It wasn't the loud, celebratory kind. It was reverent, disbelieving, like they had just watched a ghost return from war. Ramirez approached her slowly, helmet tucked under his arm. "You didn't tell me you were Phoenix," he said, his voice quiet. "No one wanted to listen when I did," she replied. That night, she was summoned to the briefing room. Higher brass had flown in after the incident. A few stiff men in decorated uniforms, uncomfortable with what they'd seen, uncomfortable with what it meant. One of them cleared his throat. "Why didn't you come forward before?" She looked each of them in the eye. "Because I was punished for telling the truth once, and because I didn't need permission to prove my worth. I just needed the sky back." After a long silence, someone finally asked, "What do you want now?" She stood tall. "My flight status reinstated, my record corrected. And I want every young woman, every quiet technician, every buried name on this base to know. Your silence won't save you, but your courage might save someone else." As she walked out into the cool night air, toward the hangars that had once tried to hold her down, the stars above seemed just a little closer.